You've been told this your entire life, even if no one said it out loud, that getting rich is complicated, that it requires genius, luck, perfect timing, the right background, the right connections, that it's some mysterious formula hidden behind closed doors, guarded by people you'll never meet. That lie is not accidental. It's necessary, because if people understood how simple wealth really is, the system would collapse under the weight of too many awakened minds. The truth is colder than you expect. Getting rich is not complicated. It's emotionally unbearable. And most people confuse emotional difficulty with complexity. They tell themselves the rules must be hard, because accepting the rules would require them to change who they are. And most people would rather stay poor than become someone unrecognizable. Look around. The poor are drowning in information. Podcasts, books, videos, advice, endless strategies, endless opinions, endless noise, yet nothing changes. Not because they don't know enough, but because knowing is safe. Acting is dangerous. Simplicity is dangerous. Simplicity removes excuses. Complexity is the refuge of the weak. When something feels overwhelming, you can justify inaction. When something feels complicated, you can delay responsibility. But when something is simple, there is nowhere to hide. And wealth, at its core, is brutally simple. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He saw that power does not favor the intelligent, the moral, or the hard-working. Power favors those who see reality as it is, not as it should be. Money is an extension of power, and money obeys the same laws. It does not reward effort. It does not reward fairness. It does not reward good intentions. It rewards positioning. Most people fail here immediately because they still believe money is a reward, a prize given for obedience, for patience, for following rules. They believe if they work long enough, behave well enough, wait their turn long enough, money will eventually come. That belief alone disqualifies them from ever having it. Money is not given. It is taken, quietly, strategically, without apology. This is the first identity fracture, the moment where most listeners recoil. They tell themselves, this sounds harsh, immoral, dangerous, and they retreat back into comfort. But those reactions are tells, emotional tells, and anyone who shows them is already prey in the money game. The wealthy do not ask how hard something is. They ask who controls it. They do not ask how long it will take. They ask where the leverage is. They do not ask what is fair. They ask what works. This is why they appear calm while others panic, why they simplify while others overthink, why they move slowly while others rush. The poor complicate, because complication feels like intelligence. It feels like progress. It feels like effort. But complication is camouflage. It hides fear. It hides hesitation. It hides the unwillingness to step into discomfort. Observe the average man. He is busy, always moving, always tired, always stressed. He wakes up already late, reacts to messages, reacts to news, reacts to demands. His entire financial life is reactive. Bills appear, so he works. Expenses rise, so he worries. Opportunities pass, so he explains why they weren't realistic anyway. He calls this responsibility. In reality, it is submission. The system loves him. Predictable, emotional, reactive, easy to model, easy to tax, easy to sell to, easy to control. He believes he is choosing his life. He is not. His behavior is chosen for him by fear and comfort. Machiavelli warned that men are quick to forget danger when times are calm, but danger never forgets them. Poverty works the same way. It waits patiently while people distract themselves with routines and small pleasures. Then it tightens. Wealth requires the opposite posture: detachment, observation, distance. You cannot see the game while you are emotionally inside it. You cannot control what you react to. This is why the first real law of wealth is not earning more, saving more, or working harder. It is learning to stop reacting. Reaction is poverty. When you react, you reveal yourself, your fears, your desires, your limits. And once revealed, you can be managed, sold to, positioned against. This is why the wealthy appear unreadable. Not because they are mysterious by nature, but because mystery is armor. Silence is not absence. Silence is pressure. In negotiations, in opportunities, in positioning, the one who speaks less controls the frame. The average person fills silence to relieve discomfort. The predator uses silence to extract information. This difference alone creates massive asymmetry, but silence without clarity becomes paralysis, and clarity is built through simplification. The rich strip reality down to what matters. Control, position, flow. Everything else is noise. Ask yourself this without flinching. Do you know where money flows, or do you only know where you work? Do you know who controls demand, or do you only know how to supply effort? Do you know who sets prices, or do you only accept them? Most people never ask these questions because the answers threaten their identity. If you see that money flows toward control, you must admit that effort alone is a trap. If you see that position matters more than labor, you must accept that loyalty is irrelevant. If you see that comfort keeps you predictable, you must choose discomfort deliberately. This is where the illusion shatters. Getting rich is not complicated because the rules are few, but each rule cuts against human instinct. Humans crave safety. Wealth demands exposure. Humans crave approval. Wealth demands indifference. Humans crave certainty. Wealth demands calculated uncertainty. The poor overcomplicate because complexity allows them to keep their instincts intact. The rich simplify because simplicity forces discipline. Consider how most people approach money. They ask, "What job should I get?" That question already assumes submission. They ask, "How much can I earn per hour?" That question caps their future. They ask, "What's the safe option?" That question ensures stagnation. The wealthy ask different questions. Where does money already move? Who already has attention? What can I position myself between? What system can I control instead of participating in? These questions feel cold because they are, but they work. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more with their eyes than their hands, because seeing is easier than touching. Appearances matter because perception creates reality. Wealth flows toward perceived power long before real power is visible. This is why the rich invest in positioning early, even before results justify it. The poor wait for permission. The rich create inevitability. This is the brutal simplicity most people refuse to accept. Wealth is built upstream, long before paychecks, long before salaries, long before recognition. It is built in silence, in positioning, in choosing leverage over labor while others argue about fairness. And here is the part that makes people uncomfortable. If getting rich were complicated, failure would feel noble. But because it is simple, failure feels personal. It feels like a choice, and in many cases, it is. The system does not trap people by force. It traps them by comfort, by routine, by distraction, by convincing them that slow suffocation is stability. But stability is the most dangerous illusion of all. Because while you are stable, someone else is positioning. While you are comfortable, someone else is building control. While you are waiting, someone else is simplifying. This is only the surface, the first cut. If you continue, you will start to see the pattern everywhere, in jobs, in businesses, in markets, in people. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Because wealth is not hidden, it is avoided. Most people sense this avoidance but never name it. They feel a low-level anxiety they can't explain, a pressure behind the eyes, a restlessness that never resolves. They assume it's stress, or age, or responsibility. It's not. It's the quiet awareness that they are standing still while the world rearranges itself around them. The wealthy do not feel this because they are not standing still. They are not chasing either. They are positioning, always slightly ahead of momentum, always detached enough to see shifts before they become obvious. This detachment is mistaken for arrogance by those who don't understand it. In reality, it is survival. Here is where the second fracture happens. When you realize that most people are not poor because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to abandon familiar identities. They cling to being hardworking, honest, reliable, as if these labels were assets. In the money game, they are liabilities. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on the goodwill of others. Wealth follows the same law. Goodwill is unstable, loyalty is temporary, morality bends under pressure, only position endures. Only control compounds. This is why the rich simplify their lives while the poor complicate theirs. The poor stack obligations, the rich remove them. The poor add responsibilities, The rich design systems. The poor say yes to everything. The rich are selective to the point of appearing indifferent. Indifference is not apathy. It is precision. Every yes costs attention. Every obligation consumes bandwidth. Every distraction fragments focus. Wealth demands the opposite: narrow attention, repeated execution. Ruthless elimination of anything that does not strengthen position. But this creates loneliness, and this is where most people fail. They choose connection over control, approval over autonomy, comfort over clarity. They tell themselves wealth isn't worth the sacrifice. What they really mean is they are unwilling to sit alone with the consequences of their own power. The predator is always alone at the moment of decision. This is why wealth looks cold from the outside, because it is forged in silence, not applause. In long stretches, where no one understands what you are doing, where there is no validation, where the only feedback is delayed, sometimes by years. The poor cannot tolerate this delay. They want reassurance. They want progress to be visible immediately. They want proof. The rich operate without proof. They trust positioning more than outcomes in the early stages. They understand that control precedes reward. Consider how markets move. By the time the crowd sees opportunity, it is already crowded. By the time everyone agrees something is valuable, the margins are gone. Wealth is captured before consensus forms. This requires acting when things still feel uncomfortable, uncertain, even wrong. This is not intelligence. It is emotional discipline. The poor mistake caution for wisdom. The rich know caution is often fear wearing a respectable mask. They know fear always asks for more information, more confirmation, more time. And by the time fear is satisfied, the opportunity has passed to someone colder. This is why getting rich is not complicated. The rules are repetitive. Control attention, control access, control timing, control narrative, control exposure. Every fortune follows some variation of this structure. But repetition is boring, and boredom terrifies people more than poverty. They would rather chase novelty than compound advantage. They would rather feel busy than feel powerful. Machiavelli observed that men are driven more by appearances than by reality. Wealth exploits this relentlessly. Those who control perception influence behavior. Those who influence behavior redirect money. This is why the wealthy invest in narrative, in framing, in symbolism, not because they believe illusions, but because they understand others do. The poor reject this as manipulation. They cling to truth as if truth were rewarded. It is not. Perception is rewarded. Belief moves markets. Belief moves crowds. Belief moves capital. Truth, by itself, does nothing. This realization offends moral identity, and that offense is exactly what keeps people poor. They would rather feel righteous than be effective. They would rather be correct than be powerful. They would rather lose cleanly than win quietly. The rich make the opposite trade. They sacrifice moral comfort for strategic advantage, not openly, not loudly, but consistently. They understand that morality is flexible at the top because power rewrites the rules beneath it. This does not mean chaos, it means hierarchy, and hierarchy terrifies people raised on fairness myths. The system teaches equality while rewarding dominance. It praises effort while compensating leverage. It celebrates honesty while paying for persuasion. This contradiction is not a flaw, it is a filter. Those who notice it gain an edge. Those who deny it remain trapped. Once you accept this, behavior changes automatically. You stop explaining yourself. You stop seeking consensus. You stop announcing plans. You stop reacting emotionally to short-term noise. You begin moving quietly, deliberately, with fewer words and fewer commitments. This is the transition from participant to observer. Observers see patterns. Participants never notice. They see how desperation leaks through language, how fear accelerates decisions, how comfort dulls ambition, how impatience creates predictable mistakes, and predictability is exploitable. The rich do not need everyone to fail. They only need most people to remain predictable. As long as the majority reacts the same way to fear and opportunity, positioning remains easy. This is why nothing fundamentally changes despite endless advice. Advice does not alter instinct. Identity does. To get rich, an identity must die. The identity that needs approval, the identity that fears judgment, the identity that equates effort with worth, the identity that seeks fairness as protection. These identities are incompatible with power. Machiavelli would say, "This is not cruelty, it is clarity," and clarity simplifies everything. You no longer ask how to get rich, you ask where power concentrates. You no longer ask how to earn more, you ask how to redirect flows. You no longer ask what people think, you ask how people behave under pressure. Behavior reveals truth. Words conceal it. This is why the wealthy watch more than they speak, why they move slower than expected, why they appear calm when others are frantic. Panic signals weakness. Calm signals control. But calm is learned. It is practiced in discomfort, in delayed gratification, in refusing immediate relief, in choosing strategic patience over emotional release. This patience looks passive to outsiders. It is not. It is loaded tension, like a predator waiting for the moment when energy expenditure guarantees return. The poor cannot wait. They feel time as threat. The rich use time as weapon. This difference alone creates an unbridgeable gap. And this is where the illusion finally collapses. Getting rich is not complicated, because nothing here requires genius. It requires emotional mastery. It requires the ability to sit with discomfort without flinching, to act without reassurance, to simplify when others complicate, to detach when others cling. Most people will hear this and feel attacked. That reaction is information. It tells you where the chains are. If you feel defensive, it is because something inside you knows this is true. If you feel angry, it is because an identity is under threat. If you feel uneasy, it is because comfort is being exposed as a liability. And if you feel calm, it is because you are already changing. This is only the midpoint, the foundation, the part where illusions are stripped away. What comes next is application, how these principles harden into daily behavior, how silence becomes leverage, how detachment becomes advantage, how simplicity becomes dominance. That is where most people stop listening, because understanding is easy. Becoming dangerous is not. Danger is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not posture or threaten. True danger is quiet, patient, and already positioned when others finally notice movement. This is the stage where theory either collapses into entertainment or hardens into behavior. Most people stop here. They enjoy the feeling of understanding without paying the cost of change. They feel informed, not transformed. Transformation begins where comfort ends. Daily life is where wealth is decided, not in dramatic moments, but in small, repetitive choices. How you speak, how you wait, how you spend attention, how you respond to uncertainty. These moments feel insignificant. They are not. They are where identities are reinforced or dismantled. Observe conversations. The average person speaks to be seen, to be liked, to be understood. Words spill out unconsciously. Opinions are volunteered. Emotions leak. This creates relief. It also creates exposure. Every unnecessary word reveals priorities, insecurities, limits. The wealthy treat words as currency. They do not waste currency. They invest it. They listen longer than feels comfortable. They let others talk themselves into corners. Silence pressures people to reveal more than they intend. This is not manipulation. It is structure. Humans fill gaps instinctively. The one who controls the gap controls the exchange. In negotiations, in business, in relationships, the one who speaks less holds leverage. The poor fear silence, because silence forces self-awareness. The rich use silence because it forces others to perform. This extends beyond conversation. It applies to action. Most people rush. They move quickly to relieve anxiety, not to maximize outcome. They confuse speed with decisiveness. In reality, haste is often fear trying to escape discomfort. The wealthy move deliberately. They wait when waiting increases odds. They act decisively only when outcomes are asymmetric. This patience is mistaken for laziness by those who cannot tolerate stillness. In truth, stillness is where observation sharpens. Patterns emerge. Weakness reveals itself. Timing becomes obvious. Machiavelli understood timing as power. Acting too early wastes resources. Acting too late forfeits advantage. The art is knowing when motion becomes inevitable. That moment feels uncomfortable because it requires commitment without certainty. The poor seek certainty before acting. The rich accept uncertainty as the cost of control. This distinction governs spending. Poor people spend emotionally. They buy relief, distraction, status symbols to soothe insecurity. They tell themselves they deserve it. In reality, they are paying to remain predictable. The wealthy spend strategically. Every expense answers a single question: does this increase my control? If it does not, it is noise. Comfort purchases are delayed. Capability purchases are prioritized. Skills that compound. Access that elevates position. Tools that multiply output. This is why the rich appear frugal in areas that impress no one and extravagant in areas no one understands. They do not spend to be admired. They spend to be effective. Effectiveness compounds invisibly at first. This invisibility is critical. Early displays of success attract interference. Opinions, expectations, requests. The poor announce progress to receive validation. The rich conceal progress to protect momentum. Machiavelli warned that visibility invites attack before strength is secured. Wealth follows the same law. Premature exposure weakens position. Quiet accumulation strengthens it. This is why withholding is a weapon. You do not reveal plans. You do not broadcast intentions. You do not share timelines. Information asymmetry creates advantage. Those who know less about you cannot coordinate against you. Most people overshare because they crave connection. The wealthy ration access. They understand that scarcity increases value. This applies to time, attention, and presence. Relationships change under this framework. You stop needing approval. You stop explaining decisions. You stop arguing with people committed to misunderstanding you. You become selective. This selectivity feels cold to those still operating emotionally. It is not cruelty, it is conservation. Energy is finite. Attention is finite. The wealthy guard both ruthlessly. This is where another illusion breaks. People believe wealth comes from doing more. It does not. It comes from doing less, better, and in the right place. Elimination precedes accumulation. You remove distractions before adding leverage. Look at systems, jobs, businesses, markets. The poor insert themselves into systems already designed to extract value from them. They trade time for money. They celebrate stability while inflation erodes purchasing power. They believe loyalty will be rewarded. The wealthy either control systems or position themselves upstream of them. They do not ask for raises. They acquire ownership. They do not hope for promotion. They build leverage. They do not negotiate harder hours. They redirect flow. Flow is the key word. Money moves along paths of least resistance toward control points. Toll booths, gateways, platforms, distribution. Whoever controls access captures value. This is why wealth concentrates, not because of conspiracy, but because control compounds. Once a position is secured, maintaining it requires less effort than acquiring it. The first move is hardest. After that, momentum protects itself. Most people never make the first move because it feels destabilizing. It threatens identity. It risks failure. It removes excuses. Excuses are comfortable. Wealth is not. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but only when boldness is disciplined. Recklessness is not power. Structure is. Strategy is. Repetition is. This is where illusion separates from reality. Many mistake risk for bravery. They gamble. They chase trends. They jump without preparation. When they fall, they declare the system unfair. The wealthy prepare quietly. They reduce downside. They stack asymmetry. They ensure that when they move, failure is survivable and success is decisive. This is not optimism, it is calculation. Calculation requires emotional detachment. You cannot calculate accurately while emotionally invested in outcomes. Fear distorts perception. Hope clouds judgment. The predator observes without attachment. This is the final identity shift. You stop needing outcomes to validate you. You stop tying self-worth to immediate results. You operate from positioning, not emotion. At this point, wealth stops feeling mysterious. It becomes mechanical, predictable, almost boring. The boredom is a test. Many self-sabotage here. They reintroduce chaos to feel alive. They spend impulsively. They chase novelty. They break patterns that were working because stability feels unfamiliar. The poor crave excitement. The rich crave consistency. Consistency compounds. Excitement dissipates. By now, the pattern should be unmistakable. Wealth is not complicated. It is narrow, repetitive, unforgiving. It demands the same behaviors every day regardless of mood. Silence, observation, patience, positioning, control. Most people will hear this and decide it is not for them. That decision is honest. Wealth is not a moral right. It is a strategic outcome. If you continue, there is no return to innocence. You will see predictability everywhere. You will notice how easily people are led by fear and desire. You will recognize how systems extract from those who seek comfort. You will feel distance growing between you and the crowd. That distance is not arrogance. It is altitude, and altitude changes perspective. Only one layer remains, the point where these principles crystallize into something irreversible, where wealth stops being a goal and becomes a side effect of how you move through the world. That is where this ends, and where most will refuse to go. At altitude, noise disappears, panic looks small, urgency feels manufactured. This is why those who reach this level rarely speak about it. Language fails here. Explanation invites misunderstanding, and misunderstanding invites interference. So they remain quiet, not out of secrecy, but out of efficiency. At this point, wealth is no longer chased. It is attracted, not because of mysticism, but because behavior has changed so completely that money has fewer places to go than toward you. Your reactions are controlled. Your spending is intentional. Your time is protected. Your words are measured. Your movements are deliberate. You have become difficult to exploit and easy to trust in transactions that matter. Trust at this level is not emotional. It is structural. People trust those who are predictable in outcomes, not emotions. They trust those who do not panic, those who do not overshare, those who do not rush. Calm creates gravity. Gravity pulls resources. This is why the truly wealthy appear boring. No drama, no explanations, no visible struggle. Struggle still exists. It is simply internalized, managed, and used as fuel instead of spectacle. The poor externalize struggle. They complain, they narrate, they seek sympathy. This releases pressure but preserves weakness. The rich internalize struggle. They process privately. They adapt silently. This preserves leverage. Machiavelli would call this the discipline of rule. Control yourself before attempting to control outcomes. Those who fail here never sustain wealth, even if they stumble into it briefly. Sudden money destroys most people because it magnifies their existing identity. Emotional people become reckless. Approval seekers become performers. Fearful people become hoarders. Wealth does not fix identity. It exposes it. This is why the path must be walked before money arrives. If discipline comes after, it is too late. By now, you should see why advice fails. Advice speaks to behavior without touching identity. Identity dictates behavior automatically. When identity shifts, behavior follows without effort. This is the real simplicity. No hacks, no shortcuts, no secret techniques. Just a brutal narrowing of how you live, what you tolerate, what you ignore, what you pursue. The poor try to add wealth on top of the same life, same habits, same relationships, same reactions. The rich rebuild the foundation. They subtract first. They remove fragility. They remove dependency. They remove distraction. Subtraction feels like loss. In reality, it is purification. Every removed distraction increases clarity. Every removed obligation increases flexibility. Every removed emotional reaction increases control. Control compounds quietly. This is why wealth feels unfair to those watching from below. They see outcomes without seeing years of elimination. They see results without seeing silence. They see spending without seeing restraint. They see confidence without seeing detachment. They invent stories to protect their ego. Luck, privilege, immorality, anything except the truth. The truth is always simpler and more uncomfortable. The system does not stop anyone from becoming wealthy. It simply rewards those willing to abandon comforting lies. Most are not. That is not tragedy. It is structure. Hierarchy is natural, always has been. Machiavelli understood that power concentrates where fear is managed and desire is directed. Money follows the same physics. Those who manage fear outperform those who avoid it. Those who direct desire outperform those who indulge it. If you are still listening, it means something in you recognizes this. Not because you are special, but because you are tired of pretending complexity is wisdom. From here, the path is narrow. You will not find community, you will not find applause, you will find clarity, and clarity demands action that feels socially expensive. You will speak less, explain less, consume less, react less. And as you do, space opens, time stretches, patterns become obvious, opportunities appear where none existed before. Not because the world changed, because you did. Wealth will enter as a consequence, not a reward. It will arrive quietly, without ceremony, and when it does, you will understand the final truth. Getting rich was never complicated. It was just incompatible with who you used to be.